Alright, here we are once again with Random Razor and some Random Razor games. Getting in some Albion again. Gotta do a little... Oop, I knew it just as soon as I get started. My brother texts me. I bet you it's my brother. Let's see. But anyway, we are gonna be doing some Albion today. Oh, no, never mind. It was just the Twitch notification that I started a live stream. I'm starting to set up all my notifications so I can actually see you guys over here in the chat. But now... Excuse me. Got a couple lungs in there somewhere. Alright, so back to Albion. Oh yeah, and my little naked farmer here. He's naked at the moment because I was going back and forth from Bracellen to Limhurst in order to transfer some stuff. I still need to fix, I still need to get some more stuff from there, sell it in Bracellen, and then come back again. But I can do that at some point during the stream here. That's going to be a little less interesting. But first, I want to jump in there and start doing... I think I should have enough beginning farming stuff to be able to raise my level up a little bit more, and even maybe do the animals a little bit more, so I can start dealing with the kennel. That way, I can, feed my salamanders and keep them growing and make that whole profit work if it can, you know what I mean? Well, hopefully it will. I think it will. But anyway, so let's enter the world, get this guy some clothing, except for just some boots here, and get working on this. I had another idea. Speaking of which, my voice, that I would need to practice my speaking a little bit more. I need to work on my inflections, my expressions, and everything like that. Just as I'm talking, as I'm explaining the different things that I do, and interacting with whatever people are coming into view. Hi, everybody. That we shall see what we shall see, and maybe do something a little bit different today. Because a long, long time ago, I memorized a poem. And that poem is really long. And I don't remember it all anymore. So I set up some little prompter thing for it. But I thought it was appropriate for this game because I love the Raven. It's my favorite mount. So it's just one of those things. It just kind of all fit together. So I was going to try to read this off as I was going around doing just the random things that I have to do. See what it sounds like on the video afterwards and everything like that. That's right. Should I have the music on? Oh, I already have the music off. Perfect. So, let's see. Oh, do I even have the regular voice on? Great. That would have been awesome. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's pretty dumb. I hope it wasn't that. Should I do a quick test just to see whether or not it was? Nah, it's alright. And I'll just assume that you guys could read my lips all this time, and now you know what I'm really talking about, which is I'm going to be getting into my naked farmer here. I'm going to be running around doing this a little bit with this guy, and as I do that, I'm going to be trying to recite a poem that I memorized a long time ago, just so I can practice my inflections and my speaking here on camera and everything like that. I just thought it was a neat way to do it. And I thought it might be an interesting way to start doing the stream. It might take me a second, so... we'll see how long it takes, and if nothing else, I'll upload it as a clip on YouTube or something like that. So here's Nevermore. I'm sure you guys know it, Edgar Allan Poe. Maybe you don't know it by heart, the way that I tried to know it by heart a long time ago. But anyway, so anyway, I do have to do some farming here, so that's a good way to start. I'm already in Bracellen, so I do need to gather up all this stuff. Interesting. But anyway. Interesting way to start, huh? I'm a little nervous because I've never performed this in front of people before, except for my 3rd grade class, something like that. It's been a long time. It's been a long, long time. Alright. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book's surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore. Nameless here, evermore. and the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating my entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that scarce was sure I heard you, and here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence wasn't broken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and the echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard the tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Here open I flung the shutters, when many a flirt and flutter, there in there stepped a stately raven of the stately days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with the mind of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door. That's what it was. Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Uh-oh, I'm way overloaded. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Through thy crest be shorn and shaven thou," he said, "thou art sure no craven. Ghastly grim this ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is in this night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore. I must sort some items here, and with my items relieve my burden, because it's far too much to carry, and I cannot continue hithermore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore. And my stream chat is in the way here. Let me remove it just to say here that I cannot continue to play here unless I sort this out some more. 99. Let's go for more. Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul that only word did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, then a feather, then he fluttered, and he muttered, and it's scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is only shock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom the unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore." But the raven, still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy onto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, "Nevermore." Now that's not all of it. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamplight gloated o'er. Hey, nice, thanks for the boost, dude. But whose velvet lining, with the sharp light glowing over, she shall pass, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by some unseen censer, swung by seraphims whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. "Wretch," I cried, "thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and Nephthony by thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this Nephthony," I think that's how you say that, "and forget this lost Lenore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, or bird or devil. I need all these seeds. I took the wrong materials, O Lenore. Whither tempest sent and whither tempest tossed thee ashore, desolate yet undaunted, this desert and land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted, tell me, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Thou shalt have to venture back again and once again and faster, just so you can get the master of the items that you had before. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, or bird or devil, by that haven bends above us, by that God and both adore, tell his soul sorrow laden, if within in the distant Aden I shall clasp a sainted maiden, who the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, who the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that a word of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest night's Plutonian shore. Visit thine own island with thine soul, creaking and cracking. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of the lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid busted palace just above my chamber door. If I take the correct herbs this time, I will sell them for some profit, and it will be much more profit than the pack I had before. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. I should be planting all these seedlings instead of keeping them without meaning. How long it took me for that seeming. Back to the farm, I think, Lenore. I'm trying to remember all this from memory, and I'm reading some of it off the little quoter tab I have here, just because there's no way I can remember all that, and I've only got like 10 lines left, and I'm almost done with this farming transfer back and forth that I did completely wrong twice, because I was paying so much attention to my poem. And from and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight over him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. Anyway, that was just my practice for my speaking, and my continuing of keeping all my different items, reaping all the things I should have not in this box. So, let's figure out what's in here. Still way too much for my single bag and stuff here. I'm 221%. I'll never make it. Never make it. What can I drop off? I'll have to do the seeds later, I guess. And I'm going to keep... I can't keep the Arctic for anything else. I need to sell that, actually. So I need to actually drop off my tools, unfortunately. Just keep this stuff that I'm just going to sell directly. Or should I make potions out of it? I probably should make potions out of it. Let's see if that was a message from my brother. Ah, he wanted to know if I have some new content. LOL, making some today. I'll finish that up in a moment. In fact, wait a minute. So that I get all this sorted out, and I can get more focused on what I'm actually supposed to be doing here, which is you guys. Let me talk to him. He finish my box, and then we'll get back into it. No more poems, I promise. Oh yeah, and I should have switched this off to my super zoom up mode here, shouldn't I? Ding! That way you don't have to look so close at my ugly face. Now give me just 2 seconds here to text my brother, and I'll get back to you. I'm sorry. Have you seen any of my shorts? I thought those would interest you. Back to work. Now, stop fooling around. I'm in Bruxelles with materials. I only have 7 meat. I need much more meat to be able to feed all these guys. So let's take all this meat and let's plant all these seeds before I do anything else. Even though that's way overpowered or way overweight. I'm gonna put all this back. I'm gonna do that first. That's only 12 weight. What's so much weight? Is it this? Probably that one. But anyway, let's plant all this stuff. Let's finish the planting. Let's grab the meat, and then we'll take all this stuff into town, sell it, and process it. Enough fooling around. Let's get to work. So I can make up this lost time here. Because look, they're so hungry. So hungry. Okay. Now, so let's start with the dragon teasel. Teasel? No, is it? Teasel? I think that's what that says. I mean, it could be Tessel. I don't know. A tassel of Tessel? A dragon tassel? That's not how you spell tassel, is it? I don't think so. Don't tease me with the tassel. Don't test me with your tissel. Alright. Especially while I'm planting. What was that? I forget. Bright leaf? Yeah, definitely don't interrupt the bright leaf planting. And let's see, I need how many more? 2 more, and then I can get some more meat. More meat with the salamanders. Oops, wrong way. Where'd he go? Run, little dude, run! Ah, and I also have to fix my keys again. I'm still using the regular default keys at the moment, but I will need to switch that up again one more time. I'm going to use the most expensive one. How many do I need? 2, 3 of them? 1 of them? 2 of them. Buy. Pay. Plant. Munch. Run. Run, I said! Oh, you don't have the thing reloaded yet. Cool down, cool down. The cat's sitting in front of my button, so I can't see it. Okay. Empty box, right? Good. Oop, other box. Good. All that stays. You? Good. I will give you your thing in a minute. You? Leave these. I'm 14. Good enough. I'll come back for a second load just so I can actually still move. Run! See? It's running like the wind, isn't it? Run! Ooh. Should I make potions? Oh, I should. That's part of the whole upgrading process I'm trying to do. So, start with, I can make 25 of those. Let's make 15 of those. And then, oh, I can't craft any of those? How come? Oh, I need the milk. I forgot to save the milk. Okay, so I need to start saving the milk and the eggs from the other one. I forgot about that. Okay. So, in fact, I will actually just do all of those. I have more. 1 more. Cool. No more of those, no more of those, no more of those. Oh, show only craft both my inventory is easier. Good. Good enough for me. Come back and craft the other ones later. Sell. Oh, wait. No. I should craft all of it first. Aha, see? See how long it's been since I'm playing? By the way, welcome back. I've been out of this game for at least 3 days now, and obviously I've completely lost my mind. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Please, please forgive me for my silliness. So I can still craft all those into something. I might as well sell these. I don't think I have anything else. But I'm gonna be walking so slow. Come on, run, run. I see the little movie lines behind him. He's running. He's going. He's going fast. In a second here, he'll go much faster. Come on. And we'll get into something a little bit better. Oh, speaking of better. Better than me reading a poem. By the way, if you just tuned in, I read and remembered the poem Nevermore. Isn't that what it's called? Or it's The Raven, or I think it's called Nevermore, not The Raven. But anyway, I remembered and reread the whole entire poem. and just to practice my inflections, what I'm saying, what I'm speaking, and everything like that. I think it worked out pretty good. I might do it again. This is a neat way to practice my voice, practice my, like I said, my speaking and how I speak and the things I say, the things I do. Anyway, so look, see, nice. Everything's processed, and I got more, Cool. How many do I have the other one? 55, not even gonna bother keeping any of these. I'm gonna sell it all. Go to for sell. And remember to buy meat, lots and lots of meat. Remember to buy the meat. If I forget, remind me to buy meat. Gotta buy meat. Why buy meat? Feed the salamanders. That's the whole point of all this. See, I'm starting to get back into the groove here again. Hold on. Gotta work my way into the right position in the seat here. Ow! I shouldn't have twisted that hard though. Work my back together and go. Alright, now I'm gonna sell all this junk. All of the foxglove. All of the comfrey. All of the teasel. I could save it for later, but I'm not gonna. All of that. Yeah, sell it all. Sell it all. Sell it all. Yeah, sell it all. Sell it all. Now, goat. I need a lot of goat. A lot. I'm pretty sure last time it took, what, 30 goat per, or yeah, 30 pieces of goat per thing? So 30, 60, 90, 120, right? I need at least 120 goat just this once. So I'm probably have to do it a couple times. So I need like 360 goat. Let's see how much that would cost me. Here's 208. 65,000, that's quite a bit. So let's just stick with it first. Let's just add 200. And then let's go with that. Take all. Uh-oh, what's my weight now? I don't even want to look. Oh, it's not too bad. Run, dude. You can make it. You can do it. Yes, thank you, dude. Wait, I gotta do it. And give me a little thumbs up. Just go faster, dude. Come on, get your freaking cock. See, somebody else has the right idea. Okay, they were there. Now I got enough meat to feed all the salamanders. I don't know how many more days it's gonna take. We're gonna take a look at that right now. Okay, there now he's actually running a little bit. Come on. I did pick it up right. Good. I was thinking for a second, why am I still overloaded if I don't have all the stuff? That would have been bad. That would have been very, very bad. I'm too hot for the hat. I was not walking around earlier, so I needed a hat. I don't walk around much. Ugh. It's difficult. So, the sun is not often on my face, so it's just like, God, that's really bright, that light there in the sky. I see 29 meat for each one, that's what I thought. 29 meat for you, 29 meat for you, 29 meat for you. And I can run fast again. Cool. Now we're all set. We'll drop off this meat in the bucket, grab my... No, actually, I'm going to leave those tools here. I should have another set of tools at the other farm. So this is my working tools here. I'm glad I didn't take those with me. I forgot about that. So yeah, these guys are for next time. This is for throwing at people randomly. I'll save that for later. And this is for the next breeding session. And this stuff will be when I come back to actually do some farming. I'll even leave the bag and loots just for random running around stuff too. And then when I'm finally done and back, I'll actually have other I'll actually have other rideable salamanders, and I can have mounts here, just so I can randomly ride them and then sell them. If that might be a good idea. I don't know how much it costs to repair them yet. We shall see. So, Oops, let's get rid of all this stuff too. Yep, don't want any of that. Delete. Oh, oh, I actually have to go to the island? Oh man, so that's a quest I got to do. So the very first whatchamacallit, guild that I joined was called this one, Ragnarok Ascended. It says it on here somewhere. Yeah, there it is, Ragnarok Ascended's island. And just for fun of it, I posted a bunch of stuff on their marketplace just because I didn't have anything else to do with it. I could have either just sold it for nothing or nah, I'm not gonna do that right now. For barely at market value, or some of them were a little bit more expensive, but it wasn't like a lot of money I'd be losing just for the fun of it, putting them all for sale on Ragnarok Ascended's thing in order to just put them on display, kind of. But they've been there all this time, and now they're running out. So now I have to actually go back there and pick them up, or I'm going to lose them. So I need to do that. So do I have to actually go back to the city, and then once I'm at the city, I go to the island thing, and then from that island, I'll be able to go to the guild island? I think? I hope? If not, then I guess that $100,000 or so worth of stuff probably is gone, but oh well, I guess if that's the only loss, no big deal. Dink. So now, I need to go home to Thetford. See? Naked, no cost. Like it. But I did transfer the other stuff already, right? Did all that. So now I should be coming back, grabbing my mount, putting the other stuff back in the box, and doing the harvesting here. And then we'll continue onwards again. This will be interesting. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to do while I was at the other island. I did not start my other workers. Then I had a fisherman and not a lumberjack, but a gameskeeper there. I forgot to do that. I think I had some books there too, but next time. Alright, what do we got here? We have a mercenary and a what? Mercenary and a prospector. Do I have another prospector one? Gamekeeper. Generalist. I don't think so. Gamekeeper, generalist. So I could give him the generalist one just for the heck of it, just to keep him leveling up. Why not? So give this one to the mercenary for the exact same reason. Go get random shieldy thing. And you go get book thing. Why not? And you go back in here for now. Was that all the seeds? Oh yeah, I still do the same thing here. Sell the other stuff. I need to keep some of this stuff. I want to do more oxen for the moment. No, I'm going to actually probably sell all of these. Unless I'm going to replace any of the ones I got. Ooh, same problem. One of these boxes has my stuff in it though, so I can actually load up again and be able to carry everything. Oops. That and that and that, and it goes in the box. And this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I don't think I need to process anything in that right now. Take that, I don't need the food right now. Much of that. Okay, now, what do I leave in here? Oh yeah, the stuff for over there, and for her. I forgot to give her things. This is for the other character that I'm playing right now, too. I'll give that to her later, and that's to upgrade the house thing later, too. Okay, just random loot and stuff that I found that I didn't have a thing to do with yet. So, alright, I'm already pretty close to overloaded with some of its seeds, so I'll get rid of some of that. Harvest some farmables. I miss farming. I was a good farmer. I really liked farming when I was out there in California farming. It was good times. I really felt like I was, doing a good thing and being a part of what I was doing in the community and all that good stuff. More, oops, didn't want to feed it burdock. I wanted to feed it carrots. Oh, not cabbage. Yeah, just carrots. Carrots or... It's already wasted all the burdock, so well. Well, I can do a couple of them anyway, so... Should I bother with it? Will I buy more? I guess it'll reduce my weight, yeah, why not? 10 carrots, and 10 carrots. Cool. more stuff. I know I'm overloaded. I practically lived in the greenhouse in there. I mean, literally, like, I had a house that was 40 feet from the front of the greenhouse, and I basically got up in the morning, walked out my front door into the greenhouse, and spent most of my day in there. It was fantastic. Quite honestly, fantastic. Did I plant all these already? I don't think I did. No. But anyhow. Cabbage. And the weather was great too. It was different than Vegas. I grew up in Las Vegas, and you know, it's high desert, dry, occasional rainy monsoon seasons, but that's about it. And the weather out there was varied and complicated and exciting. the the winters were obviously the most fun. Were intense sometimes. We would have 3-5 feet of snow around the house. Basically, we had the entire top of the mountain to ourselves, and because that was part of the land that we owned. We owned 8 acres, and where that it happened to turn off of that section of the highway, that particular hill, you know, there was this ridge of the mountain, and then this ridge of the mountain, and this ridge of the mountain. This lump is the, you know, the highway went around all the things. What the highway went around this lump, that was our lump. We had that whole top of the mountain basically, and it was great. The very top peak, basically, or the highest section of our land, but we had another section that went up higher than us as the mountain continued up another, you know, 8,000 feet or whatever. And but our section of it right there was right on the edge of the, let's see, the southwestern facing part of the mountain. So it was perfect. We had planting plots all along the hills and ridges on that 8 acres. I had my whatchamacallit, wrong seed in my hand. I had my my little cabin that we built eventually. At first I was just living like kind of in a tent basically, and then I made a little wrought iron thing that I covered with canvas. I was using that through the season, and then once it was getting to the winter time, I together with the guy that actually lived in the area, built a pier block foundation cabin. It was like on the side of a 45-degree angle slope almost. So we dug these poles down into it, put in the pier blocks, leveled out one section of actual flat land to act as like the anchor point for the whole cabin, and then put everything up, put all the anchors on it, and put windows and doors in it, and I lived in there for a couple of years, or lived in there on and off for a couple of years, because we stayed from there like during the summertime, and I went down to the main cabin during the winter, because it was just too cold up there, even with propane heat and stuff like that. They didn't have fire, which was, you know, a good thing. Fire is a very good thing. So we did winters in the main cabin, and my summers in the out in the little cabin. Well, while I was out there working, and it was fantastic. I mean, some of the most best memories I have in the world are from that time. Like a bear came to my door once. I woke up in the middle of the night. I thought I heard a sound, and we had 2 dogs on the farm, 3 dogs. One of them eventually was gotten rid of, unfortunately. He was a nice dog, but he had to go. But the other 2 would, you know, were there basically to keep bears off the property, and they did, and they were good at it. And but one day, in the middle of the winter, I don't know, they were down napping somewhere else or chasing some other animal, and I heard this noise, and I was like, wonder what that is. And I go to the door, and I open this building that we had. This little cabinet was basically just paneled wood, 2x4s, and me, you know what I mean? And then we had like the placed windows in there. There was no inner insulation and that kind of stuff. I'd put up some insulation in some places, like rugs and like carpet and stuff like that, filled in some of the spaces. But we didn't have the money to fill everything else in with actual bought insulation at that point. We were spending the money and everything else on the farm. So we didn't do that. So this was just, you know, wooden wall, thin wooden door, wooden wall with a window in it, and the forest. So I was like, wonder what that noise is. I thought maybe it was the dogs trying to get in because it was cold. And I go and open the door, and it's a black bear, the size of, I'm gonna say half a Volkswagen. It's not a huge, and it's definitely not a big, huge one. But it wasn't small either. It wasn't like a little tiny bear. It wasn't juvenile. It was an adult black bear, and like I said, about the size, I'm gonna say size of half a Volkswagen Beetle. And I just looked at it for a second, and it was as surprised as me because it thought it was next to a cliff face. And suddenly that cliff face opened, and there was an animal standing there looking at it. So it kind of looked at me, and I looked at it, and I said, "Hello, black bear." And I closed the door, and I went back to sleep. That was the whole event. I just kind of, there's nothing I can do. I can't go out there. If it tries to get in, I got my machete over there. That's about it. So I just went back to sleep. It wandered off and, probably explored the greenhouse a little bit. There was no damage or anything, but I'm sure it was in there because there was like some spore, some leftover blackberry mush in places where it shouldn't be. But I was surprised it didn't damage anything. It was earlier in the season, I think, that time. The plants weren't as big yet. But anyway, I'm gabbing too much. I need to get back to work here. I need to drop off these seeds and sell all this junk that I got that I don't need. Oh, should I save the milk for the other farm? Maybe I should. Maybe I'll do that. I'll put the milk in this thing just remember to take it to the other farm next time. Hopefully. 37. I want all of it. Oh, I can't hold that much. I don't have the other stuff shared. Yes, I do. So I can put these in the other one over there. So I put the milk all in here. I still can't hold enough? Forget you, box. You're just going to be a present box from now on. Once again, sort, stack, leave milk, and her equipment in there. Bing, bing, bing. Okay. And I'm not going to bother planting any of these guys. I'm just going to sell it all and get some more. Wait, I have arcane arctic, right? I only got 7. Damn. Okay, so I need to sell it all and buy some arctic. Or carrots. I got to figure out whether arctic or carrots is cheaper to feed the animals. I think carrots actually is. I think more people try to do regular farming instead of herb farming like I did. Funny them. They're bad. Let's go. I agree. Let's go. I'm gonna have to stand up here in a second and stretch my leg. Not doing too bad today, but I still want to keep it good. That claw in the back that I got the other day from my cat was far more painful later on than it was in the moment. And it was pretty painful in the moment. But for the 2 days after that, I was not having a good time. Which reminds me, if you did tune in, you asked me that question, why you haven't seen any new content the last couple days, that's because I was in a lot of pain and sleeping in really weird times and eating at really weird times because that just sent like an acupuncture shock through my guts, I guess, and my body didn't like it. It took that ripples a couple minutes or a couple of days to level out again. Now I'm a little bit better again, back to normal-ish function. Both my legs are doing all right, and I'm eating stuff again, so we're doing okay. This is all good things. All good things. Now, yeah, not even gonna bother processing it. Just sell it all as is. Sorry, kids. 24% average though. 4,000, sell for 4,000. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. Whoa, definitely do that. 19, let's go to 18. Don't bother with that. Don't bother to sell the Arctic yet, just because I'm going to use it. See, that's $2,000 for 11%. Yeah, do that. Cabbage, 10%, $12,000. Do that. That elusive foxglove, teasel, 4% below average. That's still fine. Turnips, 2%. I'll take that. 3% below average. Carrots, we're going to keep. I forgot. Earthworms, get rid of those. The journeyman ox, 9% below average. I guess so. I can do that too. I'm not worried about how much the profit those are making at the moment, I guess. Okay. That's good for all that. And now I need to figure out how much carrot or argot costs by the bulk. There we go. So if I buy 136,000, yeah, 361. Okay, and let's see, 375. So yeah, carrots are cheaper. Okay, I think that's the cheapest thing I can use too. Let's buy like, yeah, 200 of them. No, because I'm gonna be farming some too. I really only need enough to do right now. It should be like 90-ish, but I want to double it up. So let's do like a, or maybe at least have some extra. Yeah, so let's do like 90. Fine. And I remember to do this. I think that's the next thing I'm gonna do. My next quest after I finish all this up, I'm gonna fly out with some potions. Oh yeah, grab some potions and some dingle dudes. Where are they? The crab omelet, I think, is best. Hi, how you? Excuse me. Good time to breathe. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to Random Razor Gaming with a random game here called Albion Online, which I really like. Hope you're having some fun with me, because I'm having a lot of fun. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Hope you're having some fun with me? Sounds like you're teasing me or something like that. Don't have fun with me. Have fun. It's like laughing at you, laughing with you. I guess you can have fun with somebody. Have fun at them. You can have fun at me. Do that. Have fun at me. Yes. So let's see, how many of these do I need? That should be plenty. And then maybe some potions too. But not minor. Major. Or just regular. Regular's fine. Same thing. 6 of them. Bye. In observation of my fun. Okay, that works too. You can have fun at me? You can't like project your fun like a beam? That would actually be really good power. Ideas. Peh. Excuse me. Peh. Now, onwards. Got enough carrots, got enough of that, got enough of that. Let's get on our raven and fly. Speaking of this raven, you missed the beginning of it. I actually, when I was in, what, 3rd, 4th grade, something like that, I memorized, I don't think it's called The Raven. I think it's called Nevermore. Isn't it the actual poem, Nevermore, by Edgar Allan Poe? I think so. But anyway, I put a little, like, tag spinner thing that had the text on there just to remind me, and I tried to see if I could recite the whole thing. I couldn't recite the whole thing. I had to read off a lot of it. But I did the entire poem of Nevermore, and just to practice my inflection and my speaking and such, and it was a good way to start the video, I thought. At least I thought it was. So, I'm not going to do that again, probably. If I do, it'd be something very different. But it was just an interesting way to start it out. And that's why I'm glad I got the raven here. It was a very raven-y day. Exactly. We got a Morgana raven here. Quoth my raven, forevermore. Which actually is kind of fitting, too, that it is nevermore, because I can't use my favorite power anymore. Quoth my... Scream my raven, nevermore. Oh well. Back to my farm. Enough fooling around. Forgot what I was doing for a second there, because I started talking about the poem. And I need to get back to my farm to drop off these carrots into the mouths of their animals, respective animals, and then I'll get out to the other base, because I gotta go rescue... Oops, why did I go in there? See? Lost my mind again. See, I gotta go to the other base. I literally just went in a U back and forth twice, because I was thinking about 3 different things. Can you tell I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment? Like I said, I'm still recovering. But, now, we'll go back to this island, feed the goats, that you chose, by the way, if you're there still. I'm glad you did. It worked out great, because they grew fast. And then I will be done with this area. Meh. Hey, go over there. There we go. Meh. Stop it. There we go. Meh. Eat all the carrots. Meh. I don't know if you can hear it on the sound effects, but that would be perfect timing. Alright, that's enough. 50 carrots left, drop them off in here. And now I have to go to a completely different city, many leagues from here, and get my unsold treasure items out of my old guild's marketplace if I can visit their island still, which I'm not sure if I still can. I think I can. Because when I first started in this place, I joined this noob guild, and they didn't really do much of anything. So I just, for fun, put a bunch of the treasure stuff that I found on the market in their guild, just because no one would probably ever see it or ever try to buy it or anything like that, just to put it on display, kind of like a giant shelf. But now that I've changed guilds and moved cities to 3 different other places, that those sales have finally expired. So now I have to go back and pick them up, otherwise I'm going to lose them. Which is not going to be a whole lot. It'll be like, I don't know, maybe 100,000 total for everything, I think, maybe. But, that would just be a fun thing to do, to have to quest all the way back to that city just to grab all these different treasures and stuff that I didn't sell yet. My worthless, Antiques Roadshow that didn't do anything. Kind of fitting, actually. So, I think that's all I gotta do at the moment to get everything prepared. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, marketplace notification. Your order expired for 1 globus cruciger. I made 0 gold. And I have to go to Ragnarok's Ascended Island to pick it up. So, interesting thing to have to do. On the way, I will still flag for my faction here, so it'll be a little bit more deadly. Both people will be able to attack me, and I'll be able to attack stuff and do different things like that. Earn some points as I go, and onwards. Now, I'm pretty sure going south through the desert is going to be the best way to go here. I'm not going to go through the red area just because I don't want to lose any of the cool stuff that I got to some random person that just can fly out and kill me in 2 seconds. I really hate that. But there's some really good people in this game, and I give them props for their prowess, but I don't want to be anywhere near their prowess when they're trying to show it off by chopping things. So, I'm going to go this way, down through the desert, and then, yeah, swing to the right, and then I should be in the right city. And in the meantime, we'll just gather things along the way. And I think I lost my music because it ran out. Start it over again. If it was ever started in the first place. I think it was. There we go. Cool. It is called the Raven. I thought it was called Nevermore. How funny. Well, I was 3 when I learned it, like I said. No, not 3, in 3rd grade, something like that. Oop. Why did blowing up my phone? It's not important, just so I want to make sure. Understood. I'll send you a link later, or you can see it when I post it. Exclamation point. Cool. My brother. My actual brother. He's, what time is it? Yeah, he's off work right now. He's probably just chilling, doing stuff. Just wondering how I was doing. He's a nice guy. Oh, hey, see, look at that. Somebody just came and started chopping me. I knew it would happen. Watch out. Watch out. Oh. Thank you. I'm like, why am I not hitting him for anything? I didn't change my keys yet. I thought that would have done that much damage anyway, by the way. But gotta change this so I can actually fight back. By the way, if you're in the chat, I'm finding you again. I forgot what name it was. Wait. I forgot. Oh, there it is. Harl. Harlan? 3? Maybe he's counting up people that he killed. Well, I'll go back and give him another one. This time it'll be a fair fight. Keyboard function, save. Mouse function, save. Mouse function, save. Oh, save. I said save. Thank you. Now, hopefully. I don't know why it doesn't do it the first time around. It makes me do it twice for some reason. Let me update the driver for this thing. Did this last time. There we go. Cool. Back on the road. Oh yeah, let's go find that guy. Then we can actually fight him for real. Just for a second. Is he on this side of the bridge or this side? I can't remember now. Right there. Let's see. There he is. You got time anyway. Oh, I got what? A chunk? No, that wasn't the same guy. His name was at start with a K. Oh well, same difference really. Probably died from that guy too. Let's see where we're going. Whoa! Hey! You seem to be in the middle of a little bit of a fight here. And that's the right guy. Let's get him. I need to... Come on, get a little closer so you can W him. Come on, just a little closer. Come on. It'll catch up. Ooh, 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 get over across the bridge. Get him, get him. Go. Oh, it doesn't reach that far, you dork. I'm still gonna get in front of him. Go, go, we're gonna get this guy. He's still running, probably. He's got his other friend with him. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. Oof. Good hit, dude. That's one thing I hate about this is the respawn timer takes so long. Man, I'm gonna try to get this guy one more time. Oops, wrong button. Still the wrong button. Come on, what's going on here? Hold on. Okay. Do that again. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I still don't think I've had a fair fight yet. I mean, he fairly killed me all those times, but I didn't fairly get to actually do some really good damage to him yet. One more try to see what's going on. Is nobody even trying? Really? Well, he's just attacking other people. Fine. Come on. Oh, get around the thing so you can freeze him. Oh, you're gonna get him this time. Ooh, you froze him and you got him with the curse. But he got me. He knew I was coming after him. He didn't attack anybody else, he got me. Could also be because I have the lowest HP of probably anybody in the group trying to attack him. I'm probably way out of my league, but that's okay. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be heading south. Should I keep attacking this guy or should I keep going south? I think it's kind of fun. It's part of what I do. It's practice for me. It just takes so long to reload the stupid thing. I hate that. You don't get many good one-on-one battles. Because I'm not doing the Black Zone yet. Actually, can't do the one-on-one battles, because if I do that, I mean, obviously, if I had to re-up every single time I died just now, that'd be 6 sets of armor now, or at least 4, or something like that I died. And that'd be way too much money, so I wouldn't be able to maintain that. But, a couple of random deaths to some guy that's wandering around killing folks, it's good practice. Yeah, he's counting up the people he killed. Haha, what a dork. See if we can find him and kill him. Or add one more to his number count. Where is he? Where is he? This way. I see the thing, but the other guy just can't. Wait, no, was that him? Because the other guy that was hanging out with him just went that way, so I'm gonna follow over there and see what happens. He went that way. Ooh, maybe he's over there. I see red just popped up on this side. You guys can't see it because of the map. I think this might be him. Yeah, he's definitely gonna go try to go around the chest. Because you could farm a bunch of people there. Oh, it already disappeared. Damn it. Go faster, go faster. That's in the right direction, too. Need to be heading south. Excuse me. Going south and going south and going around. Come on, go down. Go around. I saw somebody injured down there, but I don't think it was the right person. Yeah, somebody else. Here. Zybedek, Choco, no. Ah, Dick Lord's here. Not the other guy I wanted to find. Darn it. Ah, well. Leave those guys to their fate. Ooh, magic stuff. I am on a mission. A mission to return to my old guild clan's island to reclaim my lost treasures. Sounds much better when I say it that way. Hey guys. Oop, red zone. Fun one. Where am I going? I guess I could try to zip through the red zone real quick. Probably wouldn't die. Maybe. Maybe. Otherwise, here, Fleetwater, Willowside, Night Creek. I guess I will go through Night Creek. Okay, fine. Ooh, another guy's over there too. Maybe he's over there. Hey, cat, watch it. You're spilling my food here. Get a little snack. Cat, hi. Ow. Cat decided to come up just now. 2 places are not allowed. Food, keyboard. That's it. Everything else is fair game. Quoth my raven, nevermore. Are you pondering weak and weary, cat? Hey, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. Come on, man. There you go. That's good, that's what you said. Just in my way on a little bit more on the other side. I saw the Y at the end of his name. I thought it was the other guy. Chance to kill me. He's over here. Looks like he's this way. One last look. Now get out of here. As I see the clash of the outpost under attack. Uh-huh. One, 3, 2, 1. Oh, you better run, dude. Just a little. Ooh! Gotcha! Not the guy I was looking for originally. Oh. Yeah, he's way powerful. Let's see. I can even do the thing. Yeah, come here. Yeah, I wouldn't let me inspect him. I want to see what actual equipment he had on. Because that was really quick. He killed me. Really quick. So that means he's able to do 2,000 damage in a single hit? Damn. Doesn't seem right. Maybe I'm just doing something really wrong. Because there are like bonuses for like how much damage you do over a certain amount of time and everything like that, but still. I guess it is completely possible for him to one-hit me then, yeah. Anyway, where am I? I'll continue heading south-ish instead of attacking this guy. Because obviously it's not working. And if you get... Ooh, wow, they're doing a big war over there too. But don't care, because I'm going to loot their treasures. This way, yeah. I got 2 or 3 to go to. I could technically just travel there the same way I traveled to Bracella, just go there naked and have somebody take me on a ship, which is kind of strange. But naked ticket, you know. But like, I wonder why they don't make you pay if you have no clothes on. You still have luggage, I understand. It just happens to be if you take off your clothes, it's even cheaper. Me. But anyway, so no naked transport across the ocean, and green snake. Should I get him? All right, I'll stop to kill the snake. If I don't accidentally get back onto my raven. Why is this not working? Move, cat. I can't see if the button is working. There we go. Oh, it's doing it. Okay. I was just being stupid. Did I say it? I forget. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Quick stretch of my leg. Now that we're on the road here, we know what we're going, know what we're doing. I really appreciate you guys joining in. Whoa, just see what's going on here. What a nice little spot to stop, right on top of this giant magical chest. I actually I haven't used these banks yet. I just don't have enough loot usually. I probably could use it when I'm doing like a full like gathering mission. But for now, I'm gonna let the bird rest over here. I'm gonna take a little nap underneath this canopy. Sleep. And I'm gonna grab some water. Yeah, I need some more water. Stretch my leg, and I'll be right back. And I'm gonna say on the little thingamajig here 10 minutes. But I'm gonna be back long before this. If my timer works. And it doesn't, so never mind. I just set up my little thing here so it actually had a second timer on it, so that it would actually be able to be seen. But now apparently it's not working. Why? I don't know. Oh, I know why. But either way, I'll be back in much less than 10 minutes. So just so you can see the random people running around me, watching me sleep. put it on that one. Oh, he left. Two guys just showed up and were like, what the heck is this guy doing underneath this tarp sleeping? And then they ran off. I didn't click in time though. Anyway, 2 minutes, I'll be right back. No, not you, cat. I suppose I could stretch on camera. Would that be an interesting thing for me to do? But necessarily, I have to move the camera around a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to keep my back not bent and my leg a little bit more full of blood than it's been able to do by itself, apparently. Or it's depending on which leg it is. One leg I gotta squeeze and move to get the blood out of it. The other one I gotta squeeze and move to get the blood into it. But it's fine. I really do think of my right leg as like it's another pet that I have to take care of. I feed it minerals and vitamins and pet it and tell it nice things and it does whatever it wants. But hopefully, slowly but surely, and actually, slowly but surely, things did get a little better. Ow, ow. But, they're not gonna get much better than this. So, I'm gonna learn to live with it, and that's what I'm doing. So, thanks for being here, enjoying me living life. I've been working on different things to do, different things to make. I started putting up some of my story ideas, some of the random things that I think up, and my mind chews on that idea for a little while, and it comes up with all the supporting details, or some of the supporting details behind it. Sometimes it fleshes out a whole new story, sometimes it just thinks of the random small details. But it depends on what my brain's doing that day. But I'm starting to post those, and so that's been an interesting thing to do, and I like it so far. It's it feels right. I don't know how to say it, you know. I really like doing this, I really enjoy doing this, and I hope someday that I can find some people that enjoy doing this with me. But this will probably be a slow game, a slow going thing, because I'd have to build different types of followers, different types of interaction, and different types of interactors and stuff like that. Because right now, nobody really wants to talk to me. Not in the public anyway. I've got a couple people that follow me regularly. I've got a couple people that come back again and again. And a couple people I've actually seen in the community again and again, which is really cool too. Not just from this game, but from the other game I play Crossout. Some of the people from that I've actually had, you know, online interactions with so far in my Twitch stream, which is really cool. And I'm again trying to go into Red Zone. I gotta go further south. Yeah, I might just do it one of these times. Just go in there for the heck of it, just to see if I can make it through without dying. But I also do not want to lose my stuff just for the heck of it. So maybe I won't do that. We shall see. Magic stuff. That's basically the extent of my plans for this game session. Make it to my old clan base, see if I can get all my treasures back, transfer all those back to my new base, while gathering magical things along the way, and sell, I guess, the stuff for profit, and maybe catch up with one of the wars along the way. I probably won't make the faction points just doing this, considering I've made 47 of 1250 so far, but it's possible. Depends on what I come across. Killing mobs gives you more. Let's see, what is it? Is there a special thing going on right now? Hellgate Frenzy ends in 2 days. Okay, so I find that's another interesting thing to be done. A Hellgate. Hey. Blue snake. Cool. Don't die already. fun on it though. Oh well. Worth it, I guess. Grab this chestnut while I'm here. The chestnut is here. So we have to start figuring out a way to do some kind of, not necessarily story reading, but it's like, I don't know, like I think I might do that too, like actually read short books that I like, but because the way that some people play short stories or short games just for the storyline that they can present to the people, I can play a short, or I can read a short book and present that story to people as well. It just depends on what kind of thing, because obviously if you've already read the book, you're not going to want to just hear somebody else read it. But there's something to be said about different interpretations and the different voice that some people have for a certain type of book, a certain type of story. So it's possible that the way that I read it might be more enjoyable than the way that you would construct it in your own mind, considering your own, archetypes and the types of things that you like or say or do. So, like, I might be able to structure the characters in such a way, or voice the characters in such a way that make the story interesting to people. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, because the characters already have their own structure. I just have to voice them. Right, cat. Another green dungeon. Kind of want to stop and do it, but I'm not going to this time. So the mom's got a thing that she likes to do. She likes to throw stuff on the floor. Whenever there's things on the table, especially the glass table, it's because she sees through it. She likes to play with the optical effect, the fact that she can see underneath this item and then push it onto the floor and watch it drop. And so if I leave anything near the edge of the table, she'll jump up on the table and start pushing them all off the table. This is alright, except the kittens like to play with little things that fall on the floor. So if she pushes something onto the floor, and then the kittens start playing with it, I'll probably never see it again. But it's an interesting game to play sometimes. I'll collect up the little lids of a bunch of little like plastic bottles or something like that, and the mom will be sitting on the table and I'll throw it on the table. She'll knock it off, the cats will take off with it. I'll throw another on the table, she'll knock it off, the cats will take off with it. Throw another on the table, the cats will take off with it. I should do it one day on the camera so you guys can see it. It's really funny. It's like a 3-person badminton game. Ow. Guys, stay right there. Here's a bunch of gold here. Oh, it's because this guy's still killing stuff. I'll let him have his gold. Unless he just wants to leave, maybe there's a... Yes, there is. I think I can get this, can't I? Oh, no, I didn't need an expert sickle. Nope. No random gold for me. I'm not going to wait 2 minutes for that. South. Or west, not south. I know what direction that is. Ooh, fish. I want to fish in a while. Ooh, over. That was perfect. There we go. Sorry. For most random travelers, I'm dangerous enough not to just randomly attack, unless there's an actual war going on. Just because if the possibility that I would kill them, because I do actually randomly, I have to look at my stats, I have to see how many. I can watch it, just actually say 0. But I know I actually have, yeah, it says total killed players, I think it's in the black zone though. I have actually knocked some people out before, at some point, I know I have. And, but you don't get anything for that. You don't get any of their loot, they just knock them down. So, this is not the, what you're looking for. Oh, now I see why somebody made a clip of that, one of my other Twitches. They clipped out that I said that I was new at this game. I was like, duh, can't you tell? Well, whatever. That was the point they wanted to make, I guess. I can go south this time, and then continue heading south, and I'll eventually end up going through the desert. And once I go through the desert, I'll end up in the kind of like foresty kind of grasslands. Because this is kind of has trees in it, but it's more like a grassy valley. But the other one is definitely like a foresty forest. Oops, did it again. Caught on the side. Again? Am I just not remembering where the hell I'm going? Oh, it's because I'm not at Martok yet, duh. The desert's below Martok. Sorry. I'm like keep bumping into the walls over here because I'm not going the right direction yet. I need to go down through Lewiston, and then to Eldon, and then to Martok, and then head south. I'm thinking I'm already in Martok. Alright. I don't think I wasted that much time. Follow the road a little bit further than I should. Oh, I kind of want to go in there. No, not this time. Get out of here. Go. Get on track. Stay on target. Anything interesting going on in your life today? Probably not listening with the sound on. That's okay. I already did my voice test for the day. And considering new content types and everything like that, you don't really need to be listening to me talk constantly all day long until I'm actually saying things of content. Right now I'm just saying random blather again and again and again, basically. Commenting on the game, sure, and different opinions about the things that I have and the different interesting stuff I'm doing, but it's not really that much content, is it? It's really just, it's just me. Just you looking at me, play my game. So, by all means, if you come into the chat, say hi. We'll find something to talk about. Something in the game you know that I don't know, or vice versa. Nope, something better than that. I think this one I can do. No? Can't. Not yet. Still gotta level that one up a little bit further. Now can I go south? I think I might be able to hook around now. Eldon, yeah. I'm not even gonna bother to stop at Martok, I don't think. I'm going south now that I can. So yeah, the ground is getting a little more arid. It's looking a little bit less bushy and tree. It's getting a little bit more dry. We're heading into the lowlands. I've seen a lot of red guys though. Some magic leaves to harvest. Wait, no, I couldn't have done the rock either. The ore, I should say. Hey, off the log. Stupid stump. Get stuck on the stump. I wanna get stuck on a stump. Yeah, I need an extra pack for that much, I thought. That one I can't do either, that one I can't do either. Yeah, so many magical rocks and stones, and I don't have a magical rock and stone harvesting ability yet. Usually I find more skins and more trees, but we're getting into the skin and tree area, so we will there. Up and around, fly around the rock. Here's a sweet. Way again. Is this working? go. I hope I can see your chat a little better. You know, all this raving torrent of conversation we have going on here. What is going on in any of your lives today? Anything? Besides watching me play this game, I mean. What is the most interesting game you've played lately? Or if you're playing this game lately, what are you doing in this game? Again, you're probably far, far beyond me, but if you are, why would you be watching me? So if you're far, far under me, maybe there's a way I can help you. So either way, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And I'll answer for sure. And fly around this guy, and over here, and around, oops, around this tree, around this tree. Oh, another chest popped up, but they're on the other side. Hunting chests usually gets me in trouble. I can do it this time. This way. That's definitely also part of it too, kind of geez, the first thing that came to mind was stagnant confidence, but that doesn't sound right. It's stagnant sounds too icky, but it's more like it's not solid. It's fluid. It's in motion. It's the ability to move through different things that you're doing, both successful and unsuccessful, with the same demeanor, enjoying it and creating more, creating joy out of the mishaps, which is kind of think what I'm doing, because I really do like this game. It's a silly game. It's got a lot of silly stuff in it, and it's maybe not the most difficult game, I suppose, but it does have a couple of things that I like. It takes some time to grind through it. It's very customizable. It's got a lot of really creative and intricate stuff inside of it. You can interact with people, you can do PvP, but it's optional. You can do gathering, you can do farming, but it's optional. More of this stuff is just depending on what it is you're finding fun at that moment. If today you want to dig up rocks, you can dig up rocks. It's a very vicarious experience of simulated fun in an interesting universe that has other people doing the exact same thing. Which, I don't know, that's fun for me. I really want to get into VR stuff, honestly. VR would be cool. VR would be very cool. But that's a long way off, and I don't have a long way to go. I'm gonna put as much of this as we can together, make as many videos as we possibly can make. Get some interesting stuff on there in the meantime. Like I said, I don't know how much content I can put on there, any new creative stuff, except for my own creative ideas and my own stories and things, so that's what I'm gonna do. I was thinking of making a showcase of different things that I've collected too, but how interesting would that be? If I showed you all my Pokemon cards, or all the coins I collected, all the different silver bits, all the different, my dad's art maybe, my dad's poetry, my collected cards, Matchbox. I don't know. You see, there's so many things that I think that would be interesting to me, but maybe I just think too little of myself to think that the things that I think would be interesting to enough people to be watchable. Because despite the fact that I really enjoy the idea that I'm recording this, being the reporter, I'm reporting on myself for these things. I am making the things that no one's ever going to know or share with me or anything like that in some way visible to the world. That it's in a way, I don't know how to say it. It gives what little I do with my life some kind of purpose. Because gives with the little bit that I'm able to do still, the amount of things that I can concentrate on, make some kind of schedule for, use my intellect in a creative way that's enjoyable to me. They're very limited here in this city, in this box, in this apartment, in this place. So, I wish I could go and ride a horse to a valley side to my farm with my camera on my shoulder. That was the thing that I was trying to show people, but I can't. So I'm riding a raven through a simulated field to a guild town that I need to visit to gather my treasures that I left behind. I must have to do something similar in real life. I had to drive back up from Reno to Truckee and into California. This was during the winter time, and the Truckee Pass is, I think, the highest pass, or it's the only pass basically through the Rockies at that point, through the mountains at all. And it was snow. It was a snowy time, and I didn't know this, but the actual road had been closed completely, except for semi-traffic on convoys that were allowed to go through because they were able to basically plow their way through the snow, because it's 500 trucks in a line, and they've got enough. They've got a guy in front of them, probably a snow plow, pushing the way through so they can make it through. And it might have even been hired by the company, for all I know. But for all I knew, the road that I normally would take was completely closed. So I went onto a spur road that led onto it, that got around to the other side, just because that was the only way across. I couldn't wait out the storm. I had to get home. I didn't know the thing was closed. I was on the spur for business reasons, basically. I had taken that road because I had to get off on that side anyway. So it was just coincidence that I had been in the right place at the right time when they closed down the road for the snow, that I was traveling on the highest pass in the road, or in the area, in the only pass in the area that was currently being snowed in completely, and I was being led into the center of a giant convoy. I merged into the 2-lane traffic highway, which is 1 lane this way, 1 lane that way, into probably, I want to say 20 trucks back. Was when, because I could see them off in the distance, wait a minute, that's the road I'm merging with, that's the road I'm on, that's the only place it's going, and that's the mountain. There's no other place for me to go. There was no turning around, there was no backwards. The road was completely already snowed over. The only reason why I knew where the road was because of the little, wood marker things with metal on them that they put up on the side of the road. So, I'm going along. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going in this convoy. This is just happening, I guess. So, I didn't consider it too much. I thought, well, this is going to be fun. This is going to be pretty dangerous. I better, be careful and make out of this really quickly. But I didn't realize how interesting it was going to get. So, we're going along. Like I said, I merged in probably about 20 trucks back. And the weather worsens. It starts snowing more. The trucks compact more. But they don't slow down. They have a certain pace they keep, and I'm keeping pace with them. I don't have a radio, but they have radios, and they're talking to each other, and I'm sure they're cursing me to high heaven for jumping in the middle of their convoy and possibly endangering their lives too. And so I'm sure they're starting to say, let's move this guy out of here, get him out of the way as fast as possible. And I'm thinking about this at the same time, and I realize this because they start edging over to the side as if to let me through, to let me cross when there's open sections of the highway in between the lumps and bumps and curves and brodies and all the different stuff that's going on. So they're obviously trying to let me through to get out in front of them so that I can get away from them. So I start doing that. 2, sometimes 3 trucks at a time. I'll wait for them to do their thing, and I would pull out. I had a pretty nice truck at that time. It was a V8 Ford, V8 Dodge. One I had the reason it was a Ford, that's why I said Ford. But there was a V8 Dodge, and it was 4-wheel drive, and I was pulling the 4-wheel drive the whole time through the snow. And those, all 8 cylinders were definitely working to keep me on that road for sure. And I was lucky to have 4-wheel drive on that truck. It was a really nice truck. And would, grab the road, speed up, and I'd, pass those three, pass those two, and but by this time we've been on the road probably 40 minutes, almost an hour. I mean, this is a long, windy stretch of road. We're going 50 miles an hour. It's like I said, we're just hauling right along. They've got to keep their pace, and I'm keeping up with them, trying to get out of the way. And then the road starts getting worse. As I said, the weather both starts getting worse, and the condition of the road itself, because we're getting further and further up in the higher slopes, and so the narrow, it's bigger trees closer to the road. There's basically no median for them to get off on the side off anymore. They can't really let me out into the side. There are occasionally center areas that are built into the road because of that purpose, to let people out and get in front of other places. But those are few and far between, and you can't really judge when they're coming because the road is completely iced over and white, and you can't see when the little dividing lines and things like that show up. So I was depending solely on the timing of when the trucks are moving and my own judgment of how much space that I had to be able to get out in front of them. So the last 6 cars was nerve-wracking. I'm going out in between oncoming traffic and traffic, like trying to get in front of them going this way, because the truckie wasn't closed in that direction. That was the best part. It was only closed going up in that direction. People coming down out of the mountain were still allowed to come down. So we're still getting cross traffic coming at us in the midst of the snow, spraying of snow and spray and stuff, mostly big trucks. And so finally, I'm getting, it's like it's probably 2 trucks from the front, and it's the closest the road has been so far. There's no really room for them to go, but they again start moving off to the side, and I start going up to go past the first truck. By this last time, I'm not able to do 2 trucks at a time. The road is too rough, there's too many things going on. Before, I was able to skip, like I said, 4 or 5 at a time, but now it's far too dangerous. I can't spend that much time in the opposite lane. I have to go in, go out, and get in front of the guy, and get back to the thing. I had a couple close calls, and I'm thinking about it again, even before I got to the very end of it. But then we got to the end of it. The end of it was, they split, and were letting me through, like I said, these last 2. And just as I did, the guy in front hit his brakes because another truck pulled out from a blind alley on this side of the road, basically just came straight out into the highway and turned down against traffic coming this way. So the very lead semi had to slam on his brakes. There was no other option. And that made the next one slam on his brakes, which made the gap that I was in close. So now I am in the far lane. The semi has come backwards next to me. I can't go back. I can't go to the left. They can't go to the right. I'm straddling the middle lane, and as we come over the next dip of the rise, because we didn't expect to have me in the middle of that lane for that long, I see headlights in the front lane, and it's another semi coming straight at us. So my guess is, because the only way that we could have done this in the amount of seconds that we had, literally a few seconds of time that it took from the one rise to the next, the guy in the front lane must have radioed to him and said, "Get off the side of the road now," basically, because the guy in the front right went to the right as far as he could, shooting up spray and snow and flume and hitting the branches of the trees. Like I said, we were at the point now where there's no longer trees you can hug. These are trees 4 or 5 feet across, or passing through and passing by. And he's thumping against the rocks and the roadway on the side of the thing, throwing up stuff. And my only imagining thing, like I said, what he must have done was radio to the guy ahead of him and said, "Get off the side of the road," because he did the exact same thing. So now I'm straddling the center lane, exactly in the middle, not like off in this middle. I'm directly in the center lane, the center line right in front of me, with 6 inches of space and then a semi on this side. When the semi coming this side does the exact same thing, comes roaring past me, 6 inches of space on this side. The entire car is rattling so hard. I'm literally foot floored on this side. My foot is on the floor with the gas, because I got to get in front of this guy as fast as possible. I'm floored on this side. My other foot is floored to the floor. It's holding on, and I'm holding on to the car, and it's rattling back and forth between these 2 things. And I'm holding the straight line in between them, and I make it out in front. The other guy passes me by, doesn't touch me, doesn't clip off any bumpers or anything like that. I don't touch the other one or anything like that. And literally, I thought I would have bent off my antenna at some point, but it didn't. And he went off in front. I was now in front of the whole convoy. I floored it and kept going, and I was down and out of the mountains after that. It was we passed the peak probably 15 minutes later I did, and they probably passed the peak, 30 minutes later behind me because I kept on going as fast as I could, and slowed down eventually some, and got out of the mountains and out of the snow. That was one really big hectic ride. This is way up into town. Fun times in the snow out there in California working on that farm. Oh, I can't do it while I'm flagged, I forgot. Get out of here. The spray was the most vivid part. As both of them, the one went off to the right and the other one went off to the left, their spray was lit up in their own headlights. And so I could just see basically just the coming off the side, one coming off of this truck coming that way, and the other one coming off this truck going this direction. And the headlights. Sometimes on the farm. I said that a lot while I was out there. That was like my saying, fun times on the farm. There's a lot of crazy stuff happened out there. And it was California, passing from Reno into California over Truckee Pass. This is after I'd been working out there for a while, because I had the truck and I'd already been driving around through the snow and things like that. I was confident in my abilities, and my faith in the truck was supreme, because it had already gotten me out of horrible situations of deep snow. It had literally plowed me out of places, and just getting in and out of the farm itself, I mean, it was I would say a mile drive of gravel that I had to repair and maintenance myself with the tractor that we had there. I had a front loader dozer that had a hook on the back that we used for digging and stuff, and I used that to maintenance the gravel road. And so I knew where to put the piles of rock and where to put the flatten things out, so that anybody, not just me, could make it in and out on a four-wheel drive car. Because if you had a regular car, you couldn't make it in and out of this road anyway. But with the gravel and four-wheel drive, you could make it in and out from the cabin to the main road, the farm that we were working on. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, you want to know another fun time in the snow? This one has chainsaws in it. Chainsaws are always fun. So one time, big tree fell on the power lines, and there is only one power line that comes through the forest. It goes from each farm, it branches off, and then it goes on to the next farm, and then it branches off and goes on to the next farm. It's just one long line, and then there are little feeders that come off of it. And this tree fell on the main line, the actual line that was going through from the actual one that goes across the country to our area, to our house, and to the other houses in that area. So nobody had any power. We were at the head of the line, you know what I mean? Like I said, we were at the top of the mountain, so the power line went up here on the ridge, 200 meters above us or something like that, and then fed down to us and split off from us to the other, I think, 3 or 4 other neighbors that were down below us that were on the same line, basically. So if our power went out, all of their power was out too, basically. And so this big tree fell on it and cut out everybody's power. Because what they have is these kind of stretchy things. Because these lines are not like the ones in the city. These are hundreds and hundreds of meters long in between these gigantic poles with big reinforced cables holding the stuff up, and then the little electric cable in the center that's transferring the power. And the big holder cables have these spring connectors that if something like a tree falls on it, it chunk pulls loose and lets the slack out of the line, so the line itself doesn't break, so that when you cut the tree off, it comes back up and connects again, and everybody's got power again. So that way they don't have to send out power guys to the places if a tree just randomly falls and knocks something over for a few minutes, or if somebody can themselves go out and repair the line. So that's what I did. I took one of our 3 chainsaws we had on that moment. It was the smaller one, because I didn't expect to actually have to go through a very large tree, but it's turned out to be a little bit larger than I thought, but it was still long enough to get through the tree. I just had to cut it from 2 directions. So that's what I did. tree itself was the entire tree. It had broken off from the weight of the snow near the base, and there was 50 feet of length that was still on the thing, and then the next 30 feet had been broken off, and the previous 30 feet had been broken off as well. It was just the one chunk that was sitting there. It was like one piece going this way, the piece that was on the wire, another piece going this way. You get me? So it was like kind of like a Z. The other two halves were over here, and then one piece was laying across the center like that. So got in and around the log, and started clearing out enough of the snow where I could get into it. And this wire, obviously, with this 1,000-pound or more log on it, is under extreme tension. It is like I said, hundreds and hundreds of yards through the forest that way to the next connection point, hundreds of yards through the forest that way to the next connection point, and it's flat on the ground from hundreds of feet up in the air where it's supposed to be. So it's got a lot of tension on it. And so I'm carefully moving around it, making sure that I'm not going to, fall over and die as I'm cutting it over, and that the wire itself isn't going to come up and cut me in half when it comes loose, basically. Because the directions of the wires, where things are pushing, where the log itself had pushed the wire to, I had to be in the right position to not be in its way when it snapped up again. So I got everything cleared out the top part, cut my way down through the top part of the log, made a little wedge, and then got underneath it and started cutting my way through. Oops, I went the wrong way again. Keep talking about the tree and I keep going around in circles. Go this way, away from the mobs. There we go. Yeah, I'm at Snap Shaft now. Getting closer now, down through the desert. I'm almost to... Yeah, this is the crossing right here. I'm almost to the crossing. This is over water instead of over snow. And then I can go up into Limhurst. I probably could have turned right sooner. Maybe I will do that actually. I'll go to the Long Shadow Plain. Then over Spindlewood. Yeah, okay, Long Shadow. Long Shadow's up here. Okay. Long Shadow Plain. So anyway, so I got everything cleared out and I'm starting to... Oh, and by the way, this is dead winter. It's probably 10 degrees outside. I'm bundled up in 4 or 5 jackets, 4 or 5 pairs of pants, 2 or 3 pairs of gloves, and 3 or 4 hats, and this chainsaw. And I'm, bundled underneath this tree now, and I'm starting to cut this way upwards through the bottom from underneath. Oh, that's right, I actually also, just to relieve some of the weight beforehand, because like I said, that one long piece was so long. No, yeah, 5 pants at least. Underwear, long underwear, second long underwear, jeans, and then waterproof. 5 pair. And, like those flannel, like pajama pants. I wear like 2 or 3 layers of those under my regular pants, and then like a waterproof layer on the outside. But anyway, oh, something got me up my mount. And, so I'm in there, huddled under this tree. I finally cut off, that's right, I made it a little bit shorter. I'd forgotten about that part because, like I said, it was a huge long piece before, and I figured I wouldn't be able to control where it was going if I didn't know where those 2 pieces were. I thought maybe if I cut some of the weight off, it might actually slide off on its own, but it was still too heavy, so I had to cut it right in the center to be able to let the wire out of the center of the thing. So, that's what I did. I went and I started cutting, so now I'm not right next to the wire. I'm 3 or 4 feet to the left of the wire, cutting, and it's being pulled kind of upwards in that direction, so I know it's going to be going that way. And there's, like I said, at least not quite a huggable sized tree on this thing. It was a pretty big section of it, not quite near the bottom, not quite near the top. It was right about the middle section of the tree, so it wasn't too thick. So I almost cut my way through it, and I'm cutting up right to the last bit, and I'm thinking I've got, 3 inches left of meat to cut through, when suddenly, bling! It ripped through the final 3 inches of this log that was, this is thicker than a 2x4. It ripped the log in half and flung it up into the air, probably 30 feet above me. I'm look up, and I watched this log, it's probably 300 pounds, do a nice somersault in the air, and wham! Come back down next to me. Other than my chainsaw, the forest was completely silent. You can't even hear it because the muffled of the snow practically. I'd shut off the chainsaw as soon as the thing started going upwards. I dove backwards like this, throwing the chainsaw backwards over my right shoulder, or over my left shoulder, I should say. And I'm looking up at this thing, and the thing slams down, and it's complete silence except for this cable, which is going like a giant bass guitar string on steroids for like 15-20 minutes. It's just going through the forest, echoing back and forth off the mountains and stuff like that. It was insane, and I was just sitting there stunned for a second, obviously, because this thing landed 2 feet from my feet and almost killed me. And but I didn't really feel like I was in danger. I didn't think it. As I watched it go up, I was like, "That's not gonna hit me." And I watched it hit, and I just listened to this giant guitar string as I lay there in the snow for a few minutes. It was really cool. It's one of the most fun times I had while I was out there in the forest. One of the most interesting times, not necessarily the most fun. That was definitely a singular moment, cool moment that I had. Right, fun ways to die. Here's a not death-defying one that I had out there in the snow. It was another one of those times, really, really deep winter. Because we were on the top of the mountain, basically we were in the cloud. The cloud would form and exist around us, like the different, like as the moisture would come up, the whole conflagration would happen in our altitude, basically. So it was like solid ice outside sometimes. I would walk outside and I could see the snow, I would swear, forming in front of me in the cloud, basically. Like, it was just kind of happening as it came down around me, freezing all before it got to the ground, because it was never wet. It was never wet. It was always so cold, it always froze. But anyway, one of the most beautiful things that ever happened to me there was when, during one of these times that the power was out, that, I don't think it was this time, this was a different time, the power went out for a different reason. But I couldn't fix it, and so I had a couple days where I was sitting there in the dark just with the fire, basically, and some candles. And the front of this cabin, it was a split-level cabin that was, you know, the size of a normal house, but it only had one room on the bottom and a half room on the top that was separated by the balcony. Basically, the second level was the balcony that you lived on. You lived up there and you lived down below. The lower level had the living room, kitchen, and bathroom area. The upstairs was basically split into two kind of bedroom-ish areas. It was basically just one master bedroom on the upstairs. And the house was kept warm by one single fireplace. So what I did was, during the times when things were really cold, or when I didn't even want to bother with going up and down the stairs, I would just set up my bed right in front of the fireplace right there in this cabin and keep it going all night and you know, stay alive. And for several months of the year, it was just me staying alive there. We actually had to buy a cord of hardwood just to supplement what I would be able to farm off the land itself. I would take old dead pines and things like that. Like I said, there was 8 acres of huge growth trees. So there was plenty of old stuff that had already fallen and stuff that was still standing that was dry that I could cut down and then cut up into really nice firewood. So we had plenty. Hey, there you go, exactly, yes. I got a story for you. But that was one of the most beautiful times we had. Like I said, that was what I was trying to remember. What story I was trying to tell. It was so I would farm enough wood and supplement enough through the winter time because I couldn't leave. You couldn't get up that mountainside trail that I had to maintain during the winter at all. Like, you just couldn't. Even with the tractor itself, couldn't drive that trail, and it was, you know, it had tracks. So that was not going to happen, and it was the middle of this blackout, and I think I just had one candle in the one windowsill that was downstairs on the front side, because the front or the half of the building only had windows on the top part and only one window at the front, and then the front door over here. So the one window had a candle in it, and I was out on the front porch. On there, they had like a little wraparound porch that went around most of the building, and I was just sitting out there enjoying the snow form in this cloud that we were existing in. And the only thing I could see was the beam of light from this one candle out the window, because that's the only light there was. There was nothing. There was no stars. There was no moon. There was a mile of cloud between us and the moon. There was no way I was seeing any light from the moon. It was completely dark. And it was, except for that one beam of light. And it was the most silent and the most serene... I don't even know how to describe it. The most silent, serene, like sequestered. I don't have the right many number of S words to make it sound right, but it was a spiritual moment. And like I said, I could swear I could hear the actual ice itself hitting the ground. It was just like a soft. almost like the static of an old TV. And that's all you could hear, and all I could see was a beam of light traveling out through these slowly falling flakes that were, the beam was just a small section of it, but it was, the thickness around me was intense, and you could tell because you couldn't hear anything. If I snapped 4 feet from my face, I wouldn't be able to hear it very well. It was just so thick. Fun times on the farm. And that was just the fun times. See, during all this fun times is, staying alive by cutting down wood and cutting wood off of wires and shoveling snow off of things and trying to get out when I have to and things like that. I was actually also doing work. I was actually maintaining the greenhouse, which was still functional and still producing through the winter. The way we would do it is we actually had supplemental lighting, and the greenhouse covering itself was, I think, 30 mil plastic, and we used at the nighttime something called a depth cover, and that would keep the snow off it and keep the heat in. So I had an elongated season of almost 4 extra months, basically, that we could grow in this thing beyond the time where we would normally be able to grow anything in anywhere, and especially in the mountains. So I would go out there, and this greenhouse was 80 feet long, 40 feet high, and 40 feet wide. And the tarp was double that because it had to go over with some overlap, and they just bought one that was a little bit bigger. And this is a humongous tarp. I mean, the actual thin skin, the clear see-through skin that went over the top of the tarp that was just a thick covering, that was always there. We also had a second depth cover tarp that went over the top of the entire thing, and that was the part that we used to block out the sun and protect it from the snow. And that thing, I had to manually pull over every day, morning and night, for the entire year, or for the entire season that we're doing that, plus that 4 months, basically. So not the entire year, I did get some months off, with just some ropes and me. So basically what I would do is I would go down, and you have to remember this entire tarp, 80 feet long, 40 feet wide, 40 feet long, yada, was very, very heavy, several hundred pounds. And not only is it several hundred pounds, it's several hundred pounds of friction across the entire surface of the thing that has grit and water and bits of leaf and stuff rolling along with it underneath in between them. So, not fun. So every day, I kindly worked it out. They originally were doing it with 2 people and 5 ropes, and it would take them about an hour. I eventually got it down where I could do it with 3 ropes all by myself in about half an hour, because I just figured out how to balance the ropes, how to move the thing, and where best to pull it and everything like that. And it was difficult, and it was hard, and every day in the snow, sleet, sun, rain, or shine, I went out there and checked on those solar panels, made sure that those solar lights were working, and pulled that depth tarp every day. For 3 years I was working there at that farm. I didn't do the depth the entire 3 years, but most of it, a lot of the rest of the time I was there, we were doing other things, like digging other trenches, setting up other grow areas, making other buildings. I helped an Israeli carpenter named Gall, actually was a tenant at our property there, and he and I built an octagonal house from scratch. We used the same kind of thing, pier blocks, to create the foundation in the middle of the forest. This was a little bit above the cabin area, the original actual wood cabin area. So we cleared out the area, we shoveled it all out, used the tractor to clear everything out. We set up the clear box, put down the concrete, set up the foundation, and we measured everything out using, I had a framing book. It was like the Ace's Easy Framing, and it was like a roofing guide and manual, and using the angles in that, and the special cutting saw that we got that had the angles already inscribed on the cutting base. We cut out and set up all the different joints and angles that would be necessary for this framing foundation to be able to support an octagonal roof. And we set it up, we put the whole thing up, and we made an octagonal house, because they wanted to do a yurt type of thing. They also made a yome, but this one was out of standing sticks and canvas, and that one wasn't as ideal for the snowy lands. So that one I'm not sure if they actually kept after I left. But I'm pretty sure that octagonal house is still up there. They probably put a sauna in it or something. And it was bigger than a sauna. Like, it would look kind of like a sauna, kind of like the design of a sauna, now that I think about it, because they do actually make like 5-sided and 6-sided saunas and stuff like that to make them that kind of, just a funky different thing. But this was an actual room, house type of thing. And it was sturdy with walls and windows and everything like that. But I'm sure they probably covered the windows and made it into a sauna. But they wanted an octagonal house, so that's what we built. Fun times on that farm. It was basically my stint of experience with carpentry. Did a lot of plumbing on that farm too. Both interior and exterior, like in-ground stuff and like in the wall stuff. It was fun, interesting. You know, the different types of pipe connections, the different sizes of things, and the way you have to use pressure in different ways, because they only had one well there, and the well was in the center of the property, and the land went lower than the well and higher than the well. And so we had to pump things in a certain way, because if you had the connections all flowing downhill, it would create suction, it would create like a siphon. If you had things pumping uphill, it would create pressure back on the pump. So depending on how everything was made, each year when they changed their plans and how they wanted to do things, I had to change the plumbing, I had to change the piping, I had to change the which diameter pipe we're using to send stuff here, how much extra booster pumps we put on the line there, yada yada yada. Lots of little details. And just to make it so that we get water to the right place from this one well that technically could only move water like 150 feet straight up or something like that. And we were using, I think, 100 of those feet already. So we only had about 50 feet of heads that we could actually push water, which meant that we couldn't actually push water all the way up to the top of our property because it was much further up, straight up, than 50 feet straight up. Like if we built a ladder from the very bottom of the property to the very top of the property, I bet you it was 300 feet at least. I mean, it was a pretty steep slope, this 8 acres. And I made another really fun thing because of that. So on one of the slopes, like I said, we were mostly southwest facing. On the west facing slope that was extremely steep. This one actually was like not manageable steep. Like we couldn't build to do anything on this one. And it was only maintained. It was probably just a granite cliff that had trees growing on it most likely, and then eventually gained some kind of slope. But those trees were what I was interested in. There was 2 of them that were fairly close together, very near the top. Afterwards was a fairly open drop of clear area in between before it actually got to the real cliff that was at the bottom of this area. There was a lot of blackberry and stuff in this area, and the blackberry tended to like ridge off certain sections of it because it wouldn't let anything else grow, and that was at the edge of this cliff basically. So the blackberry had grown up from the edge of this cliff, and then the trees had continued out there on up to the edge of where I was across this path. And this path was actually the path between my cabin and the main cabin that I walked in the mornings to get, go down from the front and get whatever extra stuff I needed, or breakfast if I didn't have any food up the cabin at that time. It took me about, I don't know, like I said, maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe less depending if I was running. And like I said, it was about a mile between the 2 things, and I would run there back and forth daily, and up and down through the mountains, swinging off the branches of things and around logs and stuff like that. It was very Huckleberry Finn, or very Indiana Jones, a little of both. But so anyway, back to the water situation. The well was in the very center of this thing, so it couldn't actually push it all the way up to the top. So I had to make these different, like I said, connections of different, all solar-powered pumps and regulators and filters and things like that to be able to make it so we get water to the places we needed them. One thing was really cool about this place. We didn't only have the one well for water. That was actually one other thing. Yeah, right. Well, that was because of the pulling, mostly. Pulling and pulling those cables every day and chopping wood actually by hand with the axe. That's what actually gave me what little, strength I had when I was back and working and stuff like that. Made me able to do all the things I was able to do. And the water situation was, key to the whole thing. So after setting all these different things up, the different, pumps and siphons and all the different places and everything like that, the only other place we could get water, and we still needed more water, was from a small spring. It wasn't actually like a spring like you think about a spring. What it was, because the highway itself was above us going through the mountains somewhere, that highway had been there for 50, 60 years, something like that. It, in effect, was a part of the mountain now. It had become a part of the moving landscape. The what trees could grow and couldn't grow in certain areas was largely because of the placement of that highway. And so because of this, it created kind of like a sump underneath it, or like an underground river almost. And this is a known thing. You're not supposed to drink the water that comes from this type of sump because it is often contaminated with oil and stuff like that from cars that are passing over the highway. You're not supposed to go directly into this type of underground rivers that form in these mountain areas underneath highways because they can be toxic. So that was the source, the original source of this water. But ours, luckily, was not toxic because this, like I said, this river or this road had been there for who knows. I don't even know when the original highway was built. It was during the mining times that were happening up there, and it probably had old mining roads buried underneath it, which is probably why it wasn't toxic. It was actually flowing through roads that were much older than the newer roads that we had put on there. The things that we like said about the toxic stuff coming off the roads would be probably from newer roads that the tar is still decaying. There's nothing underneath there except for the tar, except for the road itself. But whatever it was, because of where the road came down and its age, it actually came down in kind of like a loop above us. It collected water from two directions and made a spring on our property. And this was road spring. Normally not something you're supposed to be able to use. We weren't really drinking it. I mean, I drank it sometimes, but we'd already had it tested and it was safe anyway. I mean, I didn't get giardia or any, any weird, metal toxicities or something like that. At least I don't think I did. But, I haven't had a metal chelation test in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that didn't happen because, like I said, they were very, very, very particular about what kinds of both soil and nutrients and things like that were going on the plants, including the water. So they had the water extensively tested before we decided to use it on the plants themselves, much less ourselves. We were secondary to that. So the water was good. Surprisingly, even though it shouldn't have been, because, like I said, it was most likely because of this kind of underground river thing that forms underneath highways. But it was a good amount of flow, and it was consistent, and it was constant, and it flowed into a little pond near the top of our property. And so I set up a submerged plastic food barrel, like it had pickles in it or something like that at first, but it was a big 55-gallon drum barrel of the pickles that had been washed out and cleaned, and we used that as a transfer reservoir. Because what I did was I set up a tiny solar pump up there in the trees that would then take the small pond of water and fill it into the larger pump or into the larger reservoir of the barrel. And as soon as the barrel would fill up, the pipes that would go down through it would automatically then start a siphoning effect because of where it was positioned. The pumps would raise the water level above the pipe. It would start coming out just through natural gravity, which then would take the rest of the water out and downwards down the hill to where it was needed to go, which is into a larger reservoir of, what was that one? Was that 600 gallons? I think so. I think that we just had a standing one that just sat there. It was 600 gallons. So the 55-gallon one would slowly fill and then dump its 55 gallons into the 600-gallon one again and again throughout the day. And then when I needed it, I would go out there and use the 600 gallons. So that was really convenient and kind of cool. Just another one of those neat things I had to do out there in the middle of nowhere. That was summertime fun. That was not snow fun. Playing with the water and the pipes and moving, fluids around and solar panels and things like that. That was all summer stuff. I would go swim in the reservoir sometimes. That was fun. The rest of the time we would go down to the river, but the river was cold all the time. We were high enough in the mountains that the most of it was snow melt, even in the middle of summer. So it was cold. It was a cold river. I think I'm actually finally getting close to the city I'm trying to get to. Maybe. Red Lake. Let's check the map. This was in California, mid-California. Not quite as far as Mendocino, not quite as far south as Yuba, like Redding, the Ridge, in that area. A couple different places. Near Tahoe, yes. Further in from Tahoe, though, further up the mountain on the other side. Like I think Tahoe is on the east side of the mountain, like they would see like that side of the ridge. I was on the west side of the mountain, basically. Of that particular mountain ridge, whatever section of mountain range. Now I have checked the real map here in this place to see where I am. Oh, I went way too far. I should have turned left at Stagborn. Whoops. Go back. Okay, I didn't go too far. Yeah, that was at one of 4 farms that I'd worked out during there. The first one was the first one I went out there was invited with a friend of mine named Doug, and the second one was with somebody I'd met out there. His name was Mr. White. He was Mr. Blanco, and that actually was his name. And let's see, what was the next guy? The next one was, oh jeez, I can't remember what that long-haired dude's name was. He was another, like, he was a real, like, mountain hippie, like, gnarly guy. He had kind of like a vineyard, like an actual real vineyard. Like, it actually grew grapes, and he bottled the wine himself on his thing. It was like an actual, he had a label, an accredited label. I can't remember what it was now. But he had a little orchard up there as well, and as well as the vineyard. We helped out with that. And let's see, after that, then I moved a little bit further north, and I maybe got into Oregon at that point. Maybe that was when I was, yeah, the first 4 was all in mid-California. And then at that point I was getting up to Oregon. And then from Oregon I went to Washington. And that's when I was living with my father at my sister's farm. Well, it wasn't her farm, it was a farm that she was living on. And when I was living there, the farmer there hired me because he almost crashed his tractor. So the farmer at this farm was a completely different type of farmer than I'd ever worked with before. This guy was almost 80 years old, I think, when I met him. And he was, you know, gnarled and bent over and arthritic and, you know, a sweet old man. He just was, you know, impossible to make upset, impossible to bring down, you know, just a really, I don't know, a really salt of the earth kind of person. And his name was Jerry Pipitone. I hope he's still up there making jellies and jams up there in Washington. But anyway, he was a nice old guy, but like I said, he is a little bit bent over and slow and gnarled and arthritic. And one day I'm out there helping him out, just random stuff on the farm because I was living there. And he's got his tractor down there. It's another ancient thing, 1944 Ford or something like that. Tractor. Oops, I did it again. I went out through Red Lake instead of going the way I was supposed to be going. Twisting around my story. I forget which direction I'm going on the real map. Yeah, Jerry Pipitone. And, oops. And, the tractor has, you know, 80-year-old parts in it as well, so that it's not like the clutch was very hard on, and it's not like the brakes are very hard on, and it's not like the steering was very reliable either. So he left it on, he jumped off to fix something on the fence, and the clutch slips back into gear, and the tractor takes off. And it wouldn't have gone anywhere. If it had made it through the wire fence that he had, it probably could have pushed through the brush eventually and made it up in the lake. That's the worst thing that could have happened. But it wouldn't have like hit anybody's house or like run anybody over or anything like that. Its max speed was probably about 15 miles an hour, and when it jumped into gear, it was maybe going 5, you know what I mean? It was barely a little bit faster than walking distance, or walking speed, but that was far faster than Jerry would be able to catch it, obviously, and I was only 20 feet away, so I just sprinted over real quick, and I jumped on the tractor as it's rolling through the first part of the brush there leading out into where his fence is, and I pop it out of gear and put on the brake. And that was an impressive enough feat for him that he decided to hire me on his farm, and I helped him out for a couple of years doing that. That was kind of cool. Yeah, hero. Saved the tractor. He was really embarrassed. At least he looked like he was really embarrassed about it, but he also kind of seemed like it kind of thing happened a lot. Get down, get off of the flag for the faction I'm on right now. I'm finally at Limhurst. This whole trek and this whole story timeline that I've been doing here has been to get me to this city. And the reason why I'm trying to get this city is because my old guild is in this city. And so I think when I'm in here in this city, I will be able to get some access to their island and then get my treasures out of their storage. We shall see. But now that I finally made it all that distance, after all that talking and all that walking, I need some water and a quick break. I need to grab a breather real quick, and I'll just let this guy. Well, let's actually find a good place for this guy to rest. I think there's some fish over here somewhere. Yeah. Wait, was it over here? It was a nice little spot. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, here it is, here it is, here it is. See this little place right here? You can fish right here. It's one spot in the moat in the inside of the entire city where the water is, comes through in different places and comes like that. There's one little pond with lily pads in it. You can fish here. So I'm gonna leave my I see these guys come to check it out. He's like, what the heck is this guy doing fishing in the middle of the city? So I catch a fish. I'm gonna give it to my my raven here. See, oh, it's a treasure probably, maybe, unless it's trash. Let's see what I get. Logs. Sometimes when you fish stuff in weird places, you get rarer things because it's not usual that people fish there. At least I think that's what's happened. Because it's happened to me a couple times, because I often fish in weird places. And usually when I do that, I find rare things. So I kind of fit the pieces together. But anyway, I'm going to stop real quick, leave my raven here to enjoy this little pond while I go take a quick break. Thanks for being with me, guys. I really enjoy the fact that you've joined me for this 2 hours worth of stream. I might actually... Well, maybe that's true, since we are getting close to the end of my ability to save the buffered factions here, or the buffered thing here. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll actually take a little bit longer break. I'll shut it down for the bit. I'm going to probably take a 15-minute break here, 20-minute break, make a snack, I guess get some air, stretch out my leg again, and I'm going to come back and play again some more. I'm actually thinking of starting a new series. I have 2 games that I really like that I haven't ever seen played a lot, and I know that they're popular, and I know that they're fun, and I know that I would have fun playing them, but the important part is, I don't know how they end. I've never played them all the way through. So I'm going to be able to find and discover some cool new things. I'm going to be able to get into some stuff that I've never done before in this game, and I'm going to be able to play it through to the end and finally see the whole story myself, because I like to see the whole story in games. I don't like to just rush past things. I like to hear the dialogue. I like to interact with the characters that can be interacted with if I can do that, and kind of, get a feel for the universe that the creators created. I like to make my character be the person that's in that universe. Like I say, like I like to try to say, I don't like to role play. I like to play the role, and the role is, it's me there. It's me trying to be this person surviving in this world, wherever it is. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And the 2 games are Titanfall 2 and XCOM 2. Both of those, I have played through the first one all the way through a couple times, of both of those games, but not the second ones. So I have both of those now because they came up really cheap on Steam not too long ago when I still had money floating around. I bought them for like $3 or something like that, and they just came out with another special that are coming up right now. So it seemed like a good time to try to jump in again and maybe get onto it, because there's probably going to be other people out there doing just like I did, grabbed it for cheap, and might want to play. I might want to learn some of the different tips and tricks that I know how to play it, and maybe learn along with me the tips and tricks that I don't know how to play, because the parts that I haven't played before. They'll get to see the parts they've never seen, and see the story they never unfolded. So, hope you join me again. I might be doing one of those things tonight. I might jump into Crossout 2, my other favorite game, because I'm still kind of recovering. I want to give my back a break. I don't want to be stressed out about something new. So, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'll probably be back in about half an hour if I stop clapping my hands here together. And I'll see you guys then. So, thank you again for joining me on Random Razor with Random Razor Games. I'll see you next time.